So, to be honest, quite good news today. It looks like that Andrew Wakefield is going to be under investigation again, this time by the University College London. Now, what is going on, shall we say, is I'll leave a link down below to a BBC4 radio programme called Science Betrayed. And the programme looks into essentially scientific fraud. And Wakefield being one of the biggest scientific frauds out there, it's only fitting that you have a scientific fraud investigation against him. Because there are still lots of, shall we say, very interesting questions that Mr. Wakefield still hasn't really answered. And massive contradictions to boot. Now, in the programme, what he's brought up is that Andrew Wakefield claims he got the information, all this information, the original, in the original paper he wrote, was he got the information from GPs, visiting child practitioners, and red books or baby books. So those were the three sources of information he claims. Now, in the interview, he claims he got all that information from purely the baby books. That is absolutely ridiculous, because you are then having to rely on information that hasn't really been properly scientifically gathered. And that speaks of absolute incompetence on his part, if he did it that way. And he says he did it in that interview. So if you like Andrew Wakefield, I urge you to listen to this, because you should, given that information, change your mind on this supposed hero of the anti-vax movement that he is cast to be, because he certainly isn't. And as we've seen again, you now have De Niro and Kennedy in America issuing the $100,000 Mercury challenge. Again, I'm keeping my eye open, because apparently these papers are meant, that all the submissions they have are meant to be put on the World Mercury Project's website, but as I already stated in my last video about that, that's designed to be unwinnable. And I'm not going to go into the rest of it, but this will be a first sort of investigation of its kind in this country. And it's good that the university itself, because the Royal Free Hospital, where it was originally done, has been since folded into the University College London. So it's good that they are the ones carrying out this investigation. And it has been through, again, the work of Brian Deer that this has now come to fruition. Because Brian Deer has just kept on digging at this and finding out even more information. So, to those people who still think Brian Deer is some sort of incompetent journalist, why, oh why, over a journalistic investigation that's been going on for about 10 years now, and has uncovered numerous conflicts of interest, fraud allegations, and things like that. How about Wakefield's own, patent on an opposing MMR vaccine? So, he is by no means incompetent. You're just, I think, too afraid to go and actually read what the guy says. You have to admit that you are by this point. And when this fraud, these scientific fraud allegations start, the hearings actually start, which I think they're starting soon, when Wakefield comes out charged of scientific fraud, which he undoubtedly will be, then what? Where do you go from then? I have to ask you that question. Remember, Andrew Wakefield has sued and lost. First of all, he lost in the General Medical Council, which he claims he had all this evidence to support him, which, if he did, he should have been able to won easily in that case. Even if it was rigged against him, there should be clear examples of where he can point to that, but he can't. He's then sued Brian Deere 3 times in the UK, and has since sued him, I think, another 3 times in the US. So that's a total of about 6 times he has sued Brian Deere and lost. So this is someone who continually claims he has all this information that proves he is right, but in a court of law he has lost 6 times. Ask yourself that question. If you yourself supposedly have this information which proves that you are somehow in the right, how have you lost 6 times in a court of law? And it has nothing to do with, big pharma influence, because he's been sued 3 times here in the UK, and the pharmaceutical companies have nowhere near the political capital they do in the US. So generally ask yourself that question, because if you can't see that that brings up a massive red flag about Wakefield, I don't know what the answer is to that. But I'm glad this investigation is going ahead, and I'm going to keep tabs on it. Well, I'm certainly going to report on the outcomes, because if all the allegations that have been proved time and time again right about Wakefield, he is going to be charged with scientific fraud. And again, anti-vaxxers are going to continue to complain that, oh, it's this and whatever. They'll just move the goalposts again. They always do. So there you go. And coming soon, the Andrew Wakefield science fraud investigation. Looking forward to it.